My amplified unit, man, we just took down a giant, triple shot, double fudge, extra whipped Frappuccino from Wawa, baby. This thing was gigantic. If you guys follow me over on Instagram, you saw the picture of that son of a bitch. You know you wanted it. In fact, I just checked that Instagram right before filming this video, and AnV94, I just saw your comment, bro, and you asked how I don't have diabetes by now. I have no idea, LOL. Well, I'll answer you live on the air right now and say maybe because I'm a young buck still, but I don't know if I should be doing that shit in my late 40s into the 50s. Should I make it that far? I may have to cut back on the double fudge, the extra whip, and maybe even take away one of those triple shots. We'll see. But I did just check that comment out, man. And I read it and I was like, yeah, I hear you. This is pretty much a preview video, guys, for Saudi Arabia, WWE in Saudi Arabia, the big Super Showdown. Really their second big Super Showdown since this new mega deal that Vince McMahon cut with Saudi Arabia. And WWE is pumping this up to be basically another WrestleMania. Literally, they are marketing this event as an event equal to WrestleMania. That's how it is marketed, like those exact words. So those are some big claims and big, bold statements by WWE. Because when you look at the card, I'm not seeing that. It pretty much looks like something you would see for fantasy football picks, where all the teams are up on the board and everybody starts picking. It looks like Vince McMahon and WWE's suit and ties put all these superstars up on the board and they just started picking superstars for matches randomly. I mean, when you see matches like Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin, that's your WrestleMania-esque type match. Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins. It looked like they just accidentally put Goldberg up on the board by accident. The alumni actually got put up on the board, and they accidentally picked him. They're like, shit, maybe we can put him up there with another 50-something-year-old. Maybe Undertaker. Granted, I want to see it just because it's Goldberg and Undertaker, but still, who would just pick that shit? Two dudes that far past their prime and hoping they can give us at least 10 fucking minutes. But it looks like somebody just picked these names, man. You got fucking Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. Like, that's all we need. A repeat, regurgitated, redundant match from 2018 that we've seen 116 times. Let's give it to them at the event equal to WrestleMania. Yes, that's where I want to see Lashley and Strowman. I don't even want to see Lashley and Strowman at my local fucking Wawa at 12 p.m. when I really need to be entertained and I'm bored as fuck. I don't want to see them brawling in the chip aisle. Triple H and Randy Orton. Again, looks like they just picked it off the fucking board and they're just like, fuck. They used to have a feud, right? Yeah, if you want to go back to 2010, that's the last time we saw them. If my research serves me correct, it was on a Monday Night Raw in 2010. That was the last time we saw Triple H and Randy Orton. And because they fought 117 times, we don't need to see them again. But, yes you do, if it's an event equal to WrestleMania, you're gonna get H and Orton for no reason. So yes, some of these matches, if that doesn't excite you, obviously the Lucha Summer College House Party versus Lars Sullivan will get you excited, no? How does that not pump you up? Maybe if I talk about it in a few minutes a little more in detail, you'll get excited. Anyway, that's how it seems to me. It seems like they just put a bunch of superstars up on the board. Again, superstars in the alum section accidentally got put on the board like Goldberg, and they just said, fuck it, let's start randomly picking matches. None of them make sense. Or at least most of them. But before I go, and I will go match by match, I'm not going to spend a great deal or length in detail on these matches because we don't need to. As I just said, it looks just randomly put together, most of this card. But I will go match by match and just let you guys know what you're in store for Friday afternoon or evening, wherever you are watching this event. I know times are all different. Here on the East Coast in the US, it's 2 p.m. that the event starts. But this video will just set up the matches and let you guys know the finalized card. Before I really get into the card, I want to say, as of the making of this video, early Thursday afternoon. By the time you guys see this, it'll be maybe Thursday evening. There is speculation that Alexa Bliss will be taking on Natalya on this card in Saudi Arabia at the Super Showdown. Why is that huge news? It's huge news, guys, because this would be history in the making. Saudi Arabia has never really been known, especially for pro wrestling, ever to hold women competing in that ring during an event. This would be absolutely huge, along the lines of Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss, if you guys remember, I believe just a couple years ago, when they actually did that in the Middle East. And that was a big, big deal. They had to be covered up. It was the first time ever. And they made history, man. They were in tears afterwards and beforehand. Well, now Saudi Arabia, they're going to be holding this big Super Showdown event, just like the last Super Showdown event where women could not compete. As far as we know, that is the same circumstances so far. But Alexa Bliss and Natalya did make the journey to Saudi Arabia. They're actually in Saudi Arabia right now as we speak, or at least that's what we're told. And there's speculation that Vince McMahon is trying to work with the Saudi government to have Alexa Bliss take on Natalya, first time ever for that area, Saudi Arabia, to have the women compete in that ring. They would obviously, we believe, have to be totally covered up. But there is a chance that you could see that match because within the last couple of years, women entertainers have been taking the forefront more prevalently. So there's a possibility, guys. The government has to okay this, obviously. My take on it is, if you're going to sign such a massive deal with WWE and Vince, and you know that the women are such a big part of that package, you have to think about changing some policies. I'm not telling a country how to run their country, if that makes sense. But you have to believe that if you want this complete package of WWE and you're spending all of this money, tens of millions of dollars, and you're paying Vince, why would you not want the females? Now, obviously, when the government makes such a big stance and makes such a big move and change, you're going to have resistance from other areas in the government, and that's probably what they don't want. If this happens, it was a last-minute decision, basically, guys. But it's not guaranteed that you'll see Alexa and Natalya. We're just hearing that they are in Saudi Arabia and that Vince is trying to get a deal done with the government to have Alexa take on Natalya. They originally, from what we're hearing, wanted Nia Jax in there with, I believe, Natalya, but obviously Nia Jax got injured. But even then, it wasn't a done deal. We're hearing it's still not a done deal, but WWE, we don't know, man. They're keeping quiet on this. Now, if they weren't trying to have this match and all of this speculation was out for the last 12 hours, wouldn't they release a statement saying, no, they're just there for some publicity? And even on top of that, if they're not allowed to compete in the ring, then why would you want them there for publicity? Right? That's kind of contradicting yourself. Or at least the country is contradicting itself. You're not good enough to compete, but you're good enough to take some photographs and sign some autographs. It doesn't make sense. So I did just want to get that out there, guys. I'm about to read you the finalized card that we have, but don't be so shocked. It's going to be shocking in its own right because this is massive. This is history in the making. Where did Sasha and Alexa do that by the way? Dubai? Is that how you fucking pronounce it? I think it was Dubai. And that's where they kind of broke ground and made history. And now we're about to see possibly Alexa and Natalya do it. But I did want to let you guys know that that is a possibility. You could see Alexa Bliss, Natalya, first time ever in Saudi Arabia, compete for WWE anyway, at an event in Saudi Arabia. That's huge, man. That is absolutely groundbreaking history in the making. Whether you're a fan of Natalya and or Alexa or not, if you ain't watching that and thinking, wow, how times have changed, how the world is progressing, that's really cool. Thank you guys for allowing me a couple minutes to talk about that, because that's really groundbreaking, man. I hope we get to see it. If not, then it just wasn't meant to be, man. They couldn't cut a deal and the government just wasn't there yet. But just the speculation alone is pretty cool. It means that talks are being made and progression is happening in the right way. So maybe in the future. But there's a possibility tomorrow, right? And that's what matters, man. By the time you guys see this video and hear my words, maybe a decision was already made. Maybe we find out Natalya and Alexa never actually even went. That's just the word that we're hearing, guys. Reputable people have broke this news. People that know what they're talking about, mostly anyway. Meltzy boy. We always have fun with Dave Meltzer, but, he's one of the main people in this little circle that is hearing that they're absolutely there, in that WWE is absolutely trying to get them to compete in that ring. All right, I'll shut up about it. It's just such big news, guys. I really had to talk a little bit in length about it. Now let's get to the actual fucking card. This won't take long. Don't worry. You can go about your Thursday evening because, again, half of this fucking card, if not more, just doesn't make sense. But I'll start with what we believe to be the main event. Will it actually be the last match? Who knows? But this is the only match that's really, intriguing us. We think we're going to see a couple of older dudes in there for about 10 minutes, way past their prime, but just the vision, just the moment of Taker and Goldberg being in the ring together should be pretty fucking cool. That's what we're kind of thinking this is gonna go. But what if they shock us and surprise us? What if they put on a pretty fun, entertaining fucking match to go along with the cool moment of Goldberg and Taker? Hey, we'll take it. But as of now, really, we're just trying to get that moment face-to-face once more, and them are really about to collide. And we're gonna see who's the best, because that's the story here. They haven't had a long time to build anything, but the story is simple. Yeah, we may be past our prime, but now we get to see once and for all who is the better man. Even today, at our age, is Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, bigger and better than ever over Bill Goldberg? Or does Bill Goldberg today, the dominant one, and back in the day, Bill Goldberg can say it would have been no different. I would have been the dominant one back then as well. We'll see. This is for bragging rights. And it should be fun. Goldberg, Taker, even if it's 10 fucking minutes, when you have a 4-hour show, I'll take these fucking larger-than-life guys in that ring at the same time. Past their prime or not, take my money. I'm down. Universal Championship. Seth Rollins taking on Baron Corbin. Who in their right mind would have thought Baron Corbin in one of the main events, at an event equal to WrestleMania, as Vince is calling it, who would have thought that would be a good idea? I have no idea, but they should be immediately fired and their WWE privilege card taken away. Forever! It was probably Vince, but you know what? Same stipulation applies. Take that man's card away. Because I just don't see how this... And on top of that, you have Brock Lesnar totally annihilating Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has since vowed, online he has vowed he will be in Saudi Arabia, guys, for Super Showdown. So, some people are like, he's going to lose his title and Brock's going to get a couple of titles. And I'm like, what are you talking... Who said Seth ain't going to be there, man? Relax. Seth is showing up. He said so online. So unless you guys know anything I don't, I guess shit could change. But, as it always could. But Seth Rollins is vowing he's going to be there. To take on Baron Corbin. So, I don't know. Is this supposed to, once Seth Rollins defeats Baron Corbin, are we supposed to be like, wow, he came from such adversity and this match was epic? No. And on top of that, everyone thinks, well, is Brock going to cash in on Seth Rollins? That seems too easy for me. Maybe he would cash in on Kofi Kingston. Just a thought. And that would get Brock over to SmackDown. Which, coincidentally... There's our next match. WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston taking on Dolph Ziggler. I love the fiery promos that these two have had the past couple weeks, and Dolph Ziggler has been getting the upper hand on Kofi Kingston and really irritating him. Now what I want to see between these two is just totally just annihilating each other. A physical contest. Because we've seen Dolph and Kofi in the past. We know what they're capable of. But what if they just go in there and beat the shit out of each other in a physical wrestling match? Still do all your glitz and glamour personified moves, no doubt. Everything that we know Kofi can do, everything we know Dolph can do. That's probably going to be one of the best wrestling matches of the night with Balor and Andrade, if they give Andrade and Balor enough time. But what if you make it really physical too? That could be the match we're all talking about come Saturday morning or even Friday evening when this event is over here on the East Coast. But that's what I want to see. I know it's going to be a good wrestling match. Why not add some physicality? Dolph really has a gripe. Kofi is really annoyed and irritated by Dolph. Let's show that in the storytelling in the ring. Let's bring that physicality. Should be a damn good WWE Championship match. And again, Brock Lesnar will be lurking. Lesnar is advertised for Saudi Arabia. He just doesn't have an advertised match as of now. What if he cashes in on Kofi? Will it be Rollins? Who the fuck knows? That's what we'll all watch. Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon. Listen, I like this match. I really do. My problem is the build to it and where it's headed. And what I mean by that is, if it was just Shane and Roman building this match, hey, I'm down. I like Shane McMahon a lot. You guys know that. And Shane McMahon versus Roman just screams physicality to me. Just screams good. But because they're making Drew McIntyre Shane McMahon's sidekick and bitch, that's what I don't like. Because Drew McIntyre is always somebody's sidekick and bitch. Whether it's Dolph Ziggler's sidekick and bitch, or whether it's Baron Corbin's or Bobby Lashley's or now Shane McMahon's, Drew McIntyre always is tied at the hip with somebody else. And just like we saw at WrestleMania, it does him no good because Drew McIntyre lost that WrestleMania match against Roman Reigns. Now he's Shane McMahon's sidekick for the past couple weeks. This will do nothing. Ultimately, I expect Roman Reigns to defeat Shane McMahon, even with Drew in his corner. And then in 2 weeks, I expect Roman Reigns to defeat Drew McIntyre again at a big pay-per-view at Stomping Grounds. So I don't like what they're doing with Drew McIntyre here. He's just not only Shane McMahon's bitch, but he's just going to end up being, for the second time in 3 months, Roman Reigns' bitch. So that's what I mean about I don't like the setup or where it's headed. Match-wise, though, Roman Reigns and Shane McMahon, I expect that physicality that I'm hoping for Kofi and Dolph Ziggler. Triple H and Randy Orton. The theme of this pay-per-view, or what I'm hoping for anyway, is physicality. I think we're going to get that with Orton and Triple H. It's just the randomness. Again, if my research serves me correctly, we're talking 2010 on a Monday Night Raw the last time they squared off, and that's where it should have ended. I don't know why we would need to see this today. There's nothing to prove. We've seen them so many times in so many different storylines, other than maybe seeing who's got the bigger set of balls, right? Because that's what the promo stated on Monday night. Orton wants Triple H to retrieve his balls from Stephanie's purse, and Triple H went up to Orton's face and said, "You wouldn't know anything about it because you never had any." So now we're going to see who's got the bigger fucking balls. I guess maybe like Goldberg and Taker, we're going to see, at their age today, who's the better man. Almost 10 years later, who's better, H or Orton? I don't know how intrigued or captivated we're going to be for this match. But again, the theme of the event is, let's just hope it's physical, right? Let's get some entertainment out of the physicality, if nothing else. Before I flip the page here, IC strap, Finn Balor versus Andrade. I'm hearing this is going to be the Demon, right? And if that's the case, then I don't see Andrade winning this match, so Andrade loses another big match. Stupidity. Demon or not, I really feel that this is the event where Andrade should get that championship, and not just get it. I don't want him just winning this and then we 50-50 book him, just like they do with Samoa Joe and everybody else. He loses 9 non-title matches, and then on the 10th title match, he loses the title. Right? That seems to be how they book champions. Once they win the championship, they lose the next 9 matches, non-title, and then their title match, they lose the title. I don't want to see 50-50 booking bullshit with Andrade. If he gets the title at Super Showdown, I want him to have a real badass run with that strap. I want him going undefeated for a little while. I want him to be a legit threat like I know he can be. And he's got the perfect mouthpiece in Zelina Vega. It's the perfect package. And damn, that guy can go in the ring. He would be perfect with that IC strap, and that is the event to do it. However, if Balor is the Demon, I don't see that happening. They're going to protect the Demon, even though the Demon is pretty much DOA now. It is dead on arrival. The Demon had a chance to be larger than life. They ruined it to the point where nobody even cares about it anymore. It only shows up at the most stupid times possible. Out of nowhere when they're in Brooklyn, And now when they're in Saudi Arabia, never is the Demon out in a badass storyline when it should have been. Irritating what they've done to the Demon. Match-wise, if they give him enough time, should be a damn good match. But you have a lot of matches, and I think Vince's mind is going to be everywhere else. He's probably going to give him 10 to 15 minutes. And it'll be nothing but bullshit. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Strowman versus Lashley. I honestly believe their arm wrestling contest from Monday is going to be better than what we see Friday afternoon. I don't expect anything from this match. Nothing at all. We can only hope that Braun Strowman's mother forgot to pack his Capri Sun and chocolate pudding box in his lunchbox, and maybe he's extra irritated. And maybe we'll get some passion out of Braun. As far as Lashley, I don't fucking know what to expect from this guy. Bring it out, balls to the wall, smash each other in the mouth. Physicality. That is the word of the day. Bring the physicality. There's a lot of random matches or matches we've already seen so many times before. So if you bring that extra oomph and physicality, maybe you can turn shit into gold. That's what we're hoping for, man. Couple more matches. The 50-man Battle Royal. This is going to be 50 fucking superstars in a circus. The only thing that could make this entertaining is if that 24/7 title has some shenanigans in the process. If R-Truth is in the thick of this with Drake Maverick, and maybe we can add some entertainment, right? We don't want to see that slapstick stupidity entertainment comedy that we saw in AEW's Battle Royal. That was some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen. A guy throwing in some fucking little nonsensical kicks like he's kicking a fucking dead possum on the side of the road. He's just kind of like nudging him a little bit. And then you got somebody twerking on fucking Tommy Dreamer. What was going on in that AEW Battle Royal? The last thing we need is more of that stupid shit in this Battle Royal. And we know that Vince likes to put stupid shit in his Battle Royals too. It's probably where Cody and them learned it. But the 24/7 thing, that might be some entertaining comedy. Maybe, if they do it correctly. Lars Sullivan is going to take on a summer lucha college house party. 3-on-1. What the fuck is this going to do, man? I already see how this is going to play out. They're going to get the upper hand on Lars for like 2 minutes. They're going to be like, oh, the house party has a chance. And then Lars is just going to decimate everybody. And that's it. It's going to be like a Raw or a SmackDown segment. Or something we should maybe be viewing on social media. WWE.com at best. Nobody's going to give a fuck about this. And if it was put on WWE social media, Lucha Summer College House Party versus Lars Sullivan, it would probably get 16 views. And it's probably Lars's mother and his close friends and family. And the Lucha Summer College House Party. If you equal them all together, that's 16 views. The Usos are going to take on the Revival. What we're told is this is going to be on the kickoff show. What, are they that worthy of being on the main show? Is the Lucha Summer College House Party versus Lars Sullivan more important than the Revival and the Usos? I call bullshit. Major bullshit. The Revival and Usos are capable of putting on a damn good match if you give them 20 plus minutes even. You'll get a better match if you give them more time. Of course, Vince doesn't want to give the tag team championships or relevant tag teams, right? The tag team championships, then you're talking fucking... Are they even still tag team champions? Fucking, Ryder in who the fuck are the champions now? Isn't it Ryder and, fucking Hawkins? I don't even know anymore. I really fucking don't. Guys, if I fucking didn't see Balor on Tuesday, I would have forgotten he was the IC strap holder. These titles are meaningless. They're bouncing around like a tennis ball all around the fucking WWE. That's why I say the 24/7 title is probably the most fun right now and the one I give a shit about the most. Because if every other title is going to be swapped, everybody gets a turn like it's a fucking carousel, like a merry-go-round, then the 24/7 title you should be okay with, because you're used to it with every other title. I don't even know who the fucking title holders are anymore. All I know is that the Revival and the Usos deserve more than just a fucking kickoff show. Maybe there'll be a switch last second. That's all your main card shows. Maybe they'll, main card matches. Maybe they'll add another one. Maybe that is Alexa and Natalya. Again, whether you're a fan of them or not, whether that match excites you or not, you should at least be intrigued at the history, the groundbreaking historic moment that would be. For anybody who's a wrestling fan, but also if you're just a human being who has any humanity in you and fucking just knowledge of culture and how important and impactful this is for not just Saudi Arabia, but for the world. Not to mention for Vince McMahon, publicity-wise, right? Where everyone's kind of shitting on WWE for going to Saudi Arabia. Oh, this would be Vince McMahon smirking and being like, hey, look what I did. I worked with their government. You know what I mean? So we'll see. That's what we're hearing, guys. By the time this video gets out, maybe we'll hear more. I'm the Amplified Man, and hopefully tomorrow evening, or kind of night, hopefully you guys will get the good, the bad, and the ugly review of Super Showdown. We'll review the whole thing and see if it was good, bad, or ugly. And again, I hope to have that up by tomorrow night after the event. If not, definitely this weekend and obviously Saturday morning, the latest. Amplified Man, let's go get another fucking triple shot, double fudge, extra whip frappuccino, baby. That's right, the third of the day. We're gonna rock it out. The Amplified Man. Check you.